Some stories don't just ask what happened, they ask who we are. Dublin, Good Friday, April 2nd, 2010. 15-year-old Toyosi Shittabey, Nigerian-born, Dublin-raised since he was 4, walks home with friends after a swim at the National Aquatic Center. They cut through a park near Tirolstown. Teenagers, jokes, cigarette light, noise that sounds like youth. And then a row, ugly words, racial undertones, sparks like a match. Two brothers, Paul and Michael Berry, are part of that confrontation. Punches. A baseball bat appears but isn't used. The group runs. A missing phone becomes the reason to follow. A car, headlights, a roundabout. And on that curve of tarmac, the story hardens into tragedy. Witnesses say Paul Berry gets out holding a knife. Toyosi steps forward to intervene, to shield a friend. One thrust straight to the heart. 15 years old, collapse, panic, screams. By the time blue lights arrive, a community's future has been cut open. In the hours after, grief carries a banner. More than 1,000 people march in Tirolstown. Candles, jerseys, hand-drawn signs, never again. They don't just mourn a boy, they mourn an idea. That kids walking home can't be safe from hate. Police charge 2, Paul and Michael Berry. The state says the fight had racist undertones. The pursuit wasn't chance. Decisions were made. The law will ask whether Michael, the driver, enabled the killing and whether Paul's knife made this more than a street fight, but trials aren't straight lines. Before the hearing even starts, the court is told one accused is dead. Paul, the man alleged to have wielded the knife, will never face a jury. The weight of the murder charge shifts to Michael Berry alone, the driver. Inside the Central Criminal Court, December 2012, the language is careful. A row with racial undertones. No hate crime statute on the books to frame motive as a separate offense. Prosecutors map the chase. Witnesses place Michael at the wheel. They argue he made it possible. The defense says he didn't know about any knife, didn't plan a killing, didn't foresee a death. And then, the moment that decides a life in law, the judge directs an acquittal. Not guilty of murder. Jury instructed. Case ended. In headlines the next morning, a sentence lands with a thud. No one will ever be jailed for the killing of schoolboy Toyosi Shittabey. Outside the courthouse, silence isn't silence. It's 1,000 conversations about what justice means when the person who used the blade is gone, and the system can't say hate crime out loud. Community leaders call it a wound that keeps reopening, because the xenophobic edge of the attack never found a box in the statute book to be counted and named. Years pass, but memory doesn't. In 2023, Ireland's Irish language broadcaster airs a documentary, Maru Inar Miask, Killing Among Us. The Toyosi episode calls his death one of the first racist murders to go to trial in Ireland, not because a hate crime law said so, but because the lived reality did. The show retraces the route, the words, the knife, and the courtroom pivot that left a family with truth, but no prison time. So what do we call this? It is about two things, facts and responsibility. On April 2nd, 2010, after a confrontation with racial undertones, 15-year-old Toyosi Shittabey was stabbed to death at Tirolstown, Dublin. Witness accounts and court records state Paul Berry wielded the knife. He died before trial. Michael Berry was tried for Toyosi's murder on a theory that he facilitated the attack by driving. The judge directed an acquittal in December 2012. Ireland had no dedicated hate crime law to capture the racist element at the time, a gap anti-racism groups highlighted for years. When the law can't name the hate, communities must. When verdicts explain procedure but not pain, journalism, our kind and theirs, has to hold the story in place long enough for change to notice. Toyosi loved football. He wore the Insaka kit and chased the same dream countless kids chase. The one with a crowded pitch and a goal that keeps moving back as you grow. Friends say he was kind, quick to laugh, easy to follow. That's the part of the record that never makes it into exhibits. The loud, ordinary joy of being 15. So say his name, Toyosi Shittabey, and say what the trial could not. The violence that found him was sharpened by xenophobia. If you want to know why this matters in 2025, it's because we still see the pattern. Targeted harassment, sudden escalation, a weapon, an alibi of heat of the moment. The names change. The blueprint doesn't. And unless we draw the line where the blueprint starts, with the words, we keep meeting the same ending. Justice isn't just the number of years someone serves. It's whether a country can count what hurts it and call it by its real name. For Toyosi, for his family, for every child who should get to walk home in peace. Tell the truth, hold the line, and never let the memory fade.